Welcome to Your Vote, the St. Joseph News Press Now's coverage of the municipal election. We are continuing our Q&A series, and we're beginning with the mayor candidates. We will be doing 3 Q&As with them, and this first one is about community appearance. And with us is Mayor candidate John Josendale. John, thanks for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
We'll jump right into the questions. Of course, we're going to kind of focus on community appearance. The first one, do you believe that certain neighborhoods around town have been neglected?
I think that as I've gone around town, to say neglected is not necessarily fair, but there have been areas that I think have gotten more attention. I think that we as a community need to work together. One of the things I've talked about is the fact that we need to look at ourselves as St. Joseph, and not north, not south, and we need to work together to try and do it. So yes, I do believe that there are some areas that deserve some attention to be looked at, to be worked with, and it's got to be a cooperative effort. So I'm looking forward to that.
Kind of in the similar vein, you mentioned the north, the south. Do you believe revitalization can be done in multiple areas of town at the same time?
Yes, absolutely do.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think has been difficult with the community is the fact that one end of town might get more attention than the other in the past. And I think that as a city, we can work together and we can have multiple things going on at the same time.
More specifically, how would you address the blight? What would your strategy be if elected mayor?
Well, right now there's a number of key areas I think we need to work with. But as we go along, it's got to be the voice of the people that we hear. I'm trying to get out and talk to a lot of people, and I think that's important. There are some things we can do, whether it be doing an enterprise zone, doing a revitalization zone. I mean, we can work on different areas. They've talked about Frederick Avenue. They've talked about St. Joe Avenue. We've talked about King Hill. I mean, there are a lot of areas that we can work with. All of those are in different areas of the town, but all of those are areas where the people want to see something done, and listening to them on how to do it, I think, is very important as we go forward.
Yeah, a large key of revitalization is both private and public coming together and bringing those funds together. How would you make sure that there's both private and public investment when it comes to revitalization?
Well, I think that's actually a great point, because there are people that are willing to step up and do it. And then there are grants and there are different things that are out there. Making sure that we match up the people, that you have people working within the organization, within the city, that can say, hey, this is how we match it up, this is how you do it. Bringing the parties together that are willing to do it. And again, promoting from within. If we can, in essence, promote a local contractor or promote a local area and say, this is what we're going to take a dumpster down to this area, we'd like to see that happen. And that's the way I see some of this getting done.
Do you believe the city can be more diligent in enforcing residential housing codes, when it comes to safety and appearance?
There are a number of different things involved in that. In my talks that I do, we talk a lot about getting rid of the red tape. Part of the red tape is understanding both sides. You have to understand what the issues are on why it wasn't getting done, and or if it seemed complicated, and or making sure that the people understand that this is what's expected of them. So right now there's kind of a disconnect with some of that. So I think working together with the city employees and working together with the different community involvement and people will make a difference on how we can get some of that done.
Does the city need, kind of in that same vein, does the city need to be more aggressive with property maintenance violations?
Yes, well, there are a number of things in the different conversations, and I keep saying that because listening to the people make a difference. And there are codes right now where parking on the street or parking in yards, or you hear all kinds of things that people talk about, and there are ways to help get that enforced, and there are things that can be done either with the police or with the parking or city ordinance on how we enforce that and how we get that done. And part of that's just communicating. We talk about right now the police force being down so many people. If we get the police force back up to the level they be, then they can do some of that stuff. So it's a matter of finding out what the issues are and why, and then getting those resolved.
sewer rates, city sewer rates have remained stagnant for the past couple of years now. Do you see it as your priority, if elected, to keep sewer rates stagnant? And if so, how would you go about doing that?
I think the bigger issue all the way around, sewer rates are stagnant because the money's coming from somewhere else to pay for what needs to be done. There are certain government regulations that we have to meet, that have to be done. Certain changes that have happened in the sewer system and the way the sewer system works. We have to identify that. We have to identify what the issue is as to why the rates keep going up. And I think we need to address that and get it covered so that, again, being transparent, talking to the people about what's going on and explaining why it is.
What about the landfill rates? I know the city, for the past couple of years, have been looking at increasing rates. This landfill here in town is one of the cheapest in the area. What are your thoughts about increasing landfill rates?
In listening to that, in listening to the facts that I know now, and again, every day I learn more stuff about what's happening and how it's happening. So this is a moving target for me. It's a lot. It's learning a lot of new things. If we are the lowest rate in town and we have people or in the area and we have people coming in from other areas and using our facilities and not paying the level, then yeah, we do need to change that. We need to protect what we get to do for our people. I think one of the things we all have to address is the fact that we, the city of St. Joe, and as we talk about we, the people, and great catchphrase, but we are the people, and we need to make sure they understand and that we are working on in their behalf to make sure we're doing what's best for our residents.
We talked a lot about, the blight and the vacant properties and property maintenance, but one thing that has been a bright spot in the last 4 years in this current council is the revitalization and growth of downtown. If elected, how would you try to continue that growth in downtown?
There are a lot of issues or a lot of things that are going on right now. There are a lot of things in the works, a lot of things being looked at as to how we can build downtown. There are already some restaurants that are talking about moving around, doing different things. You've seen new restaurants open up downtown. I think the more we can do to encourage that, and again, talking about helping the people that want to do that, whether it be small business, whether it be the restaurants, whether it be the contractors, to do things that make it advantageous for our people to go in and revitalize and bring people downtown. But it is starting to work, and I want to succeed. I want to see that succeed.
Just kind of our last question here. Obviously, community appearance has a large part of making St. Joe a better place to live. So what's one concrete step you would make to make St. Joseph a better place to live if you were elected?
There, in the next council, in the next opportunity, there will be some ARPA funds, the COVID relief funds, that are going to be available. They've identified the fact that in those relief funds, there is a certain amount of money that can be used for the community right up front, as far as whether it be sidewalks, whether it be, other things such as that. And in talking to the fire department and talking to the different groups, we talk about what do they need. So we need to get that list, and then we as a council, because remember it's 9 of us, and we have to communicate, we have to talk, but listening to the people and finding out what we need, getting some of those things done right off the bat, whether it be sidewalks at the schools, whether it be, fire equipment, whether it be, police equipment, but what we can do to help the community feel safe and have better structure, whether it be roads, sidewalks, whatever, and cut the red tape. So again, it fits right into what I believe needs to be done, and making it work for the city, for the people, is what it's all about.
That's all the questions I had. Is there anything else you wanted to say, Aaron?
It's one of 3, so we'll see what you bring next time.